Now we're top 8 in. Top 8, I can't wait. This is the way. Let's go.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Pendulum versus the Ash. We also have a Chaos Hunter, which if your opponent special summons a monster, we could summon Chaos Hunter, then you cannot banish. So if we were to look at a deck like Pendulum and you're holding on to your Chaos Hunter, let's see if we could even have a good thing that we could stop. So Pendulum deck type, it's going to be Pendulum Magician. Let's type in the word banish. When did they banish? Well, if they want to be using their newly added Fenrir and Unicorn cards, so they don't really banish. All right, besides those cards. Beyond the Pendulum only activates in the extra monster zone. So I'm sure we did that on purpose, as we now make an Apollo USA. Chaos Hunter attempting to summon under Apollo, which will be a negate. Very good. We didn't actually like mess that up, right? Wouldn't we have had like a bigger Apollo if we didn't link summon? All right, let's go. Chaos Space, discard for the Wyver Burster, banishing a Dark to summon if we want. We're going to Lubellion first. Going to get negated by the Apollo USA. We don't have double Valent Field spells. We can't use it against them. Not that there even is a monster in the main zone to even use it against. This is going to be a special summon with the effect of the Roar, getting the Dark onto the field. Now, if sent to the graveyard, activating to search your deck for a Thunder Dragon card. We're also going to be grabbing a Collapsed Serpent. We can grab a Thunder Dragon Fusion. We can grab a Thunder Dragon Hawk. Hawk could reborn a banished or engraved Thunder Dragon. Let's go. Dark stealing the Beyond the Pendulum. Now, banishing for a Collapsed Serpent. Now drawing one with the Chaos Space by returning the banished Wyver Burster. Reborning with the Hawk into the Roar, which will now make a Colossus. Colossus Indestructible will be able to make it so your opponent cannot add cards from the deck to the hand. And let's keep on going. Speed this up as we show Con into a Nightmare Unicorn on someone. I'm sorry for skipping that cutscene. We're going to discard, spin back the back row, as we now get the Wyver Burst that we cannot summon. Not quite lethal damage, but we can't search. So what do we do if we can't search? We also have Double Monster Negate. Double Monster Negate, can't search, we only have one card. Pendulum Graph and Wisdom Eye. That is, we got the scales. For one summon from the extra deck. Just one. Oh, whoa! Apollo USA, to make it more balanced, has a Link Arrow so we could summon two. Chaos Hunter, so that you cannot banish. I already showed you all the cards that banish the popular ones, and there's pretty much none, so the Chaos Hunter does not really do anything. It's big enough to take out that Apollo USA to at least make it another turn, but we're going to steal the opponent's Dark. We are far from done, as the Sprite Elf will be able to reborn a monster from our grave. Cometh, cometh, cometh. Electromite. How does he keep on going? How? How is he still doing things? We're going to be drawing a card. We're going to be able to Wisdom Eye, pop itself, set up another Pendulum Scale, Oath Dragon, add back an extra deck monster back to the hand. Black Fang, destroy itself, then activate, reborn a monster from the graveyard. We can't link with the Sprite Elf the turn it was summoned. So I think a lot of people, definitely not me, was thinking Dark Dark equals Access Code Talker. What's this mad lad doing? Well, he could have done that, or he could have also had an Elf, Electromite play, plus Access Code Talker on top of all of it. No poppage. Now, the Thunder Dragon Colossus protects itself from being destroyed and also triggers a Thunder Dragon effect, so popping it would be a mistake. A search, a mulligan, a summon from the deck, don't pop it. Pop no good. We are banishing. Also Chaos Hunter, you can't pop because Chaos Hunter. So potentially protecting us from allowing it to make a good play. Now, this is untargetable if using a level 7 or higher, which the Chaos Hunter is level 7. If it destroys the elf by battle, it's going to become 4,500 untargetable, but the Access Code Talker could just pop it. Scooping it up. Scooping it up. It has no built-in destruction protection. Oh, it also does. It also can't be destroyed. So it'd be 4,500, can't be targeted, and can't be destroyed by card effects. So how do you out it? That's huge. Let's go. Let's speed on through this as much as we can through a Pendulum turn 1. Linking this all up into a triple monster negate. Purple Poison with the Pendulum Graph is now pop 2. Omni negating once per turn, by the way. Negate the Thunder Dragon Dark. Okay, sure. It's a free negate pretty much. Negate, triple monster negate plus pop 2. It is a ton of disruption. Negating the Gold Sark from triggering a Thunder Dragon monster, which could be a Thunder Dragon Dark or a Roar. Those would be the good ones. Lubellian Monster Effect, a free negate for Apollo USA, dropping down by 800. We can't negate again in the same chain with the Apollo USA, but we can negate with Baron de Flor instead. Negate and destroy. Serenir will activate, sending a branded card from the deck to the graveyard, which is not really going to contribute to this turn. You still have the Hawk. Hawk could reborn the Dark, which could make a Colossus, but it gets negated. If it were to go through, Colossus's summon is not in effect, so it would go through and, you know, actually would have been kind of decent, but the Pendulum Graph would send the Colossus to the graveyard after it's protected from destruction, so we pretty much checkmated. Let's speed on through this. We have no hand trap disruption whatsoever. The Valent Field spell, if we get into the same column as an opposing monster zone monster, we could spin it back into the back row. Harmonizing on Pendulum will summon a monster from the deck. We can't search with Joker because of the Colossus. The Branded Beast is dead unless we get a Druid Swarm on the field. We could banish our own later Darks to do so once we get a body on the field. So we could just summon. I mean, this is not good. Do not, against Pendulum, put your monster in the same column as your back row because now they could push it on top of your back row and it's gone. Harmonizing is going to be triggering off of that Pendulum summon. And let's get to it. Druid Swarm also summoning in addition to this. Getting ready for an extra deck monster summon. If you summon a monster from the extra deck, the Baldrake will banish it. Summoning the Celestial. We are actually activating on resolution of summon. We did not use our Branded Beast. So now we are screwed. Is there any way we could stop this from happening? This states that the activation requirement is there's 2 cards in the field zones. So even if you pop the other one, you're still going to get pushed back, and you can't Branded Beast pop your own card. It's only your opponent's card. So you lost Colossus. Holy moly. And you would think that the column, that you could also deal with it just like that. So what you're going to do is you could target an effect monster in the opponent's main zone in the same column. That's also the activation, part of the activation requirement there. So this is when we could activate it if there's 2 cards in the field zones, and then the activation requirement was already met, so your Colossus is gone. Goodbye. Get poppin' and get pushed back. That's crazy. Joker can now search. Come to me. Making our Electromite. So it was activation timing and activation requirement. Pop in that back row Pendulum Scale, triggering our effect to draw 1, also triggering the Astrograph after being added back from the extra to summon itself, and then add a destroyed monster, same name from your deck to your hand. Come to me, Oath, as we then randomly draw into our Duelist Alliance. We got our Wisdom Eye. Come forth into Elf. Elf can reborn a level 2 from the graveyard, which will be the Electromite. Only if your opponent has an extra deck, not extra deck, but any monster on the field, can you summon a link from your graveyard. We got Purple Poison up in here, grabbing our Pendulum Graph. We are taking the Maxi Challenge, by the way, yes. Electromite more than once per turn could pop, add the Astrograph, which will trigger the Astrograph again. Purple Poison activating to wipe out the Baldrake. Come forth and summon as 2,500 attack. Also searching. Big damage. We're lethaling through this Maxi. You best believe it. We are flaming on. Pendulum Graph, grabbing the Iris Magician. We're going to use the field spell to special summon our Black Fang from the back row. 7,400 damage on the field. Special summoning a Chaos Hunter to stop us from being able to banish. We're going to Supreme King, copy the effect of the Electromite, pop the Purple Poison, pop the Chaos Hunter, grab Astrograph, resummon itself onto the field, I think a third time in one turn. Come forth. Astrograph limited to 1. This card used to be at 3. I have to look up duels of it at 3 on YouTube. I can't even. Double Iris is going to be popping itself, searching for the Pendulum Graph. We are harmonizing into the back row, boosting up the field to battle phase we go with over 10,000 damage with the Max Seed Challenge accepted. We have conquered it. Pendulum is nuts. Damn. Wow. Wow. Let's keep on going. I forgot about you, Tribrigade Leerlusk against Branded. Now, the Wagtail is going to be attaching onto the Robin, and let's see what we accomplished here. We accomplished quite a lot. We have the Samorg special summoning an Apex Avian, which will be able to negate any card activation, and it's untargetable. Robin is also untargetable and can, if your opponent summons a monster, we're going to be able to spin it back. And how many materials we have under here? It says influence. 3 materials, so it could spin back up to 3 times. Now, the influence could sometimes show more than what's actually a material. And we didn't UDF. Was there a reason not to UDF? We do have the Assembled Nightingale, which could protect one of our monsters from being destroyed by battle or card effects. Let's go. So it feels like we undercooked just a little bit. Nightingale is going to make it so Leerlusk cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. I guess this is the super protective play, just survive. Robin, 1 out of 3 times, we're going to spin back a special summon. Apex Avian is going to negate. Negate the Cartesia Fusion. We could spin back 2 more times. Not going to negate with the Ash. We are waiting. The Serenir being sent to the graveyard activating to send a branded card from the deck to the graveyard. We do have Ash ready for the branded fusion, but we do have a call by the grave to stop the Ash. Negate the branded fusion. Finger the Ash. Negate. Now, Robin versus a branded fusion. Doesn't branded fusion just lose? Yeah, that's going to be nasty. Lubellion's going to be spun back, or Albion. So you spin back Albion, they fuse into Lubellion. You then spin back Lubellion. And it's all from 1 Robin. Is this real? Yeah. Robin, spin back, and then spin back again. Retribution, adding back a branded fusion to be used for next turn, or maybe just to be discarded for the Lubellion. Goodbye to you, so you can't go into Mirror Jade. This is the Lubellion. On summon, discard. Robin, spin back again. Yup. Triple Robin, that's what it do. And then we are fusing into a non-Mirror Jade. This is going to be a Gangrenol. Gangrenol is here. Gangrenol on summon, sending a Brigran to search. Yep, I take no battle damage. I can't be destroyed thanks to the Nightingale. We actually still went into Mirror Jade. I cannot believe it. We attempted to stop Mirror Jade 3 times through Ash, through Robin, and Mirror Jade still was somehow summoned. Recital before being banished by a Mirror Jade is going to be searching. Not that he should have banished. Looks like we are setting up for a Zeus wipe. Wagtail is attaching as a material to make it so that we're going to have enough materials under our Zeus to wipe the field. We're going to be banishing that Nightingale to stop that from happening. Nerval, banishing 3 to come forth into the Doom Eagle. That will trigger the effect of the Gangrenol. We're going to be banishing the Sprind Iron Dash Dragon from the graveyard. Okay, I should say spinning it back on the deck, that is. We're going to have Coritis, which could reduce the entire field to 0 attack. Linking this up into Access Code Talker. If there's an Alibur in the graveyard, it could negate it. Yeah, that's a problem. If you wipe out Mirror Jade, Alibur negates you from further wiping. And if you wipe out the Coritis, it could summon a monster from the deck, but we have no card to discard for an Albaz. Interesting. Nerval being sent to the grave, grabbing our Caress, which could discard the Apex Avian to summon itself. Banishing Farigit. Protecting from effect destruction with the branded opening. Banishing again, successfully wiping it out. Alibur now is going to reduce the access code talker down to 23, negating its effects for the rest of the turn. We are in main phase 2. Huh? Time limit? It's not even your turn. Okay. Let's hop into game 2. Super Poly ready and waiting. Double attribute of the same will get fused up. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh's been sharing the turn for 25 years. When did Yu-Gi-Oh start sharing the turn? Maybe just 10 years. For 10 years, the turn has been shared. Fractal sending the Kit sending Nerval activating to search for the Caress. Kit banishing from the grave for a giant Charade Omen on summon is going to banish. We could not use the Super Poly. That is insane. Discarding for special summoning Caress, making the Farigit summoning a monster from the hand, come forth. Making sure we're not blocking up our Link Arrow so we could properly summon by banishing from the grave. We're going to be using the Doom Eagle, getting a giant boost, 9,400 damage on the fields. What happened that duel? Damn. Naturia Runick versus Branded. Imagine if they did not limit the Branded Fusion to 1. I guess we have to give it to Konami. This is good foresight into what they believe the meta would have become by reducing the power of Sprite and Tier. So even if you could argue that Branded currently wasn't a problem, it was going to become a problem. Come to me. Sending a Garura to draw 1, that rarely happens, but that's a pretty cool option we have there. All of that just to get ashed. Negate. That is our 1 Branded Fusion, which the Retribution could add back from the grave. So we could also Tragedy. Tragedy could recycle it next turn. We don't have any disruption. Wow, we have nothing. Cricket's going to summon 2 monsters from the deck, Camellia and Sunflower. Sunflower will be negating any monster effect up to twice. Tree being sent to the graveyard with Camellia will be searching for the blessing as we now make a Charge Warrior to draw. We could then Reborn Camellia to make a level 10 Synchro if we want. We have not used a Runick card yet, so we still have our battle phase. Just as I said, making that Baron de Fleur to have the Omni Negate plus pop any card on the field. Wiping out the Gangrenol, battle phase, goodbye to Alibur, doing it in the correct order so that the Alibur would not reborn from the grave. And after using our battle phase, we'll be skipping the next turn battle phase with our Tip. Tip into the Golden Drop to summon the Huggin. Huggin on summon is going to be discarding to get searching for our field spell, discarding the tree to activate more than once per turn, searching for another blessing. Runick Fountain is here, back to you, blessing ready to reborn from the graveyard. Cricket can reborn itself if the opponent summons a monster from the extra deck. We have Camellia sending the 3rd and final tree to search again. If you summon a monster, I will also reborn a monster from the graveyard. Tragedy, attempting to recycle the Branded Fusion, successfully doing so. If the activation's negated by the Baron de Fleur, it could then be reused again with the Retribution, adding it back to the hand. But we have Ash again. Negate. 2 turns in a row, eating that Ash with the Branded Fusion. Albaz is going to attempt to fuse with the field, which the Baron de Fleur will obviously be negating, but with the Albaz in the graveyard, we could special summon Cartesia. Cartesia being summoned can trigger the effect of the Camellia, so it's worth noting that Camellia could have chain link blocked the Baron de Flor from negating if we were a fool, but we're not. Serenir is chain banishing Garura from the grave in response to the Camellia special summoning from our grave, which is going to be our Sunflower. Sunflower with the double monster negate. Negate number 1, mill 2 instead of tributing itself. That's going to be negating the Gangrenal from summoning a card like Perskenian. Perskenian, bigger than Baron de Flor, so that would have been an issue. Let's go, let's go. Now, that was a trigger effect Gangrenal, so it wasn't something that we could have just attacked over the Sunflower, then waited. We're going to be using Baron de Flor, returning itself back to the extra for the Cricket. Cricket, come forth and summon. Double monster from the deck. We got Camellia summon with no activation, since we're out of cards that we want to send from the deck to the grave. Double monster negate with that Sunflower. We are returning 3 to draw 3. Shokan into the Coral Dragon if sent to the graveyard. We will be drawing 1. Also discard a card, pop a card in the field. Serenir sending Retribution, which will recycle the Branded Fusion. Trushilla is here on summon, banishing from the graveyard and the hand. Now, is this only monster or any card in the graveyard? It could banish any card, so it would banish the Branded Fusion. So we're going to add it back. But now it could 50% chance banish the Branded Fusion instead of 100%. It's a coin flip. Oh, and it's gone. Well, we missed the 50-50, and our limited to 1 is gone forever. Game 2. Tragedy being sent to the graveyard. We are searching for our Alubur, waiting with the Ash to eat that Branded Fusion. I should say the Branded Fusion eating the Ash. Allure of Darkness. This is it. Negate. Now, you see the Fusion deployment? There, I think it was TCG, where they would use Fusion deployment to summon the Dolphin. The Dolphin would pop the Ash out of the hand. So you discard a card, look at the hand, and delete Ash, then Branded Fusion. That's the play. So think about it. Think about it. You got Branded Fusion at 1. We are with the tree, searching for the blessing. Maxi in response to the special summon. And we're going to bless this up by special summoning a Naturia from the hand or grave. That's going to be our double monster negate. But we now have double earth, which could get super polyed. Adding that fountain, discarding the tree, activating more than once per turn, searching for another Naturia blessing. We are going to super poly, discard Retribution, as we said, making that Garura. Did not want to give them an opportunity to synchro. The blessing is more than once per turn. The tree is more than once per turn. We are going to smite some cards off the top of the deck, not getting rid of any one-ofs. Well, actually, the Branded White is a one-of polymerization, essentially. Cartesia fusing with the Garura to activate 2, draw 1, and making the Gangrenal, as you then attempt to draw 2. Gangrenal is going to send a level 6 or higher from the extra deck or deck to the graveyard. Is Garura only once per turn? I would think so. Yeah, I can't just Garura back in the grave again. Triple Tactics talent, drawing 2 after you activate a monster effect during my main phase, and our battle phase is now skipped as we end the turn. Sprint, summoning an Albaz. Albaz on summon is going to discard a card to fuse, but we're going to pop it. You could get rid of it or negate it, otherwise the fusion is done. You have to be able to fuse with it. Cartesia recycling itself during the end phase because the fusion monster was sent to the graveyard that turn. And let's go. Non-targeting, by the way. Because it's non-targeting, what do we finger? We don't know. We're going to have to maybe just wing it. We're winging it. Probably want to summon the Camellia. Yup. All right. I think that's quite obvious. You know, we're going to still get the Sunflower out now, but it's going to be doing nothing. Sunflower with no negate. Retribution, recycling that Branded Fusion. Are people playing more Retribution now? I think mostly people were playing 1, but maybe we now play 2. Let's see. Retribution is being played 72% at 1. Maybe 2 is going to rise up. Into Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade with the non-target monster banished. Lubellion sending Albion to come forth and summon. Is going to play a branded spell from the deck, Branded Lost, which will combo up with the Cartesia, making a fusion to then trigger the Lost to grab a Mercurier. Or an Albion Shrouded Dragon instead. Shrouded Dragon will get a branded spell or trap from the deck to the grave. And with the Tragedy, we're going to recycle the Regained. Tragedy and Retribution being able to recycle your branded spell and traps. Kit special summoning to search for a branded spell or trap. That thing could grab from the banish. I mean, I knew that. Grabbing the Branded White and returning the Magna Hut. So this could grab back a banished branded fusion. Interesting. Using the graveyard to make a Furious Dragon. Furious Dragon could pop a monster control plus pop a card your opponent controls. Regain, returning a banished card back to then draw one. Mirror Jade also non-target monster banishing the Hug-In, so it does not protect from destruction as we take out the field spell. After realizing exactly what they're doing to screw us, we scoop that up. Very well done. Very well done. Let me take a quick look at the Furious Dragon again. Target a monster you control, and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. Yup. We are Runick Fountaining. Flash, fire, come to me. Make sure you let the Runick Fountain resolve before activating this. And Chainlink Tuning the Fountain plays into an Ash, but you then get to draw more cards. So you kind of got to do it this way. And we got that nice draw too into a second fountain to draw even more cards, just super stacking this turn one drawage. Randomly banishing a bunch of one-ofs. Isn't brain opening at 2? Okay. Now, just the tip into the curses, randomly banishing an Albaz. Now back to you. Was not able to draw into any of the Naturia engine, so that is a problem. Burialing the Mercurier to banish with our Bestial to activate the search for an Albaz monster. We got the Albion. Albion sending an Albaz from the deck to the graveyard so we can special summon that Cartesia. Cartesia with the Alubur is going to be able to dodge. This is kind of interesting. You're tricking them to activate their fusion. Oh, this is interesting. If you just say, okay, then you get the search. If you chain to fuse, they're going to use curses to negate your Alubur. That's the trick. They want you to use this so it doesn't dodge the curses negating the Alubur. Let's go. Wow. Did not get tricked. Alubur is not getting negated. I think a lot of people would have fell for that. Branded Fusion. Held on to Cartesia's effect to protect the Alubur from being negated. But now it can negate the Albion instead. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So, like, did it really matter if we chain fusion, you chain negate, we would at least have another body on the field instead. But sending Lubellion, even with this negate, is like, that's better. So holding onto the Cartesia fusion actually worked out. Yeah, that's good. The destruction's going to destroy a Regain, Lost, or a Beast, though. Big draw 3. Lubellion is here, ready to set up our back row. Set it up. Regained is going to be drawing nearly every turn. Anytime a Darker Light is banished, we are drawing. Smiting Storm with the Gary. If we destroy Gary, then Gary will pop a card in the field. We do not want to lose our Regained, but he's already got the destruction to wipe it. Searching for a Lost, adding it to the hand. Cartesia recycling itself for the end phase. Holding on to destruction, not end phase popping. Now we're going to destroy. Going for that Regained. Goodbye off the top of the deck, a Retribution, which is potentially a one-of. We're going to find out if he's playing more than one, probably within this duel, as we draw 3 with the Runick Fountain, just drawing so many cards. A Call by the Grave onto the Cricket is good if they don't have a blessing to dodge the finger, but you're going to use your other finger, and they're going to use their other blessing because both cards are not once per turn. Holy moly. Do not finger my Cricket. Chainlink 5, back on the field, as we then summon 2 bodies from the deck. What is that? Bulbatea? Holy moly. with the ball. No balls. Ball-free Bulbatea, yes. And here we summon. Here we go. Let's go, go, go. Got lots of bodies in the field, sending a tree from the deck to the graveyard. The blessing's going to be searched for, which again, a third one can be activated. We have Trushilla on summon, banished from the field, the hand, the grave. Get banishing. Goodbye to Branded Fusion, which Kit can recycle. So Kit, we're good, unless Kit's banished. Kit is not banished, so we can get Kit. We got Gary recycling the Runick Fountain. Cometh back to me. We have double Monster Negate with the Sunflower. Now we're going to be using it to make a Charge Warrior. Charge Warrior and the Blessing can make a level 10 Synchro. Chang Ying or Baron to Floor. We're going to instead be making a Baguska. I did not see that coming. Okay, Baguska instead. Freezing Curses, continually banishing cards off the top of the deck. Only 9 cards left. Serenir getting itself out. We're going to draw 1 since we have double Max C anyway. Everything that's a non-link, stuck in D. So dealing with Baguska as branded is insanely difficult. No monster effects. We need Branded Beast if we even play it. We probably don't. Baguska detaching. So this strategy is sit on Baguska and deck them out. Absolute savage, disgusting, degenerate. Donner not negated by the Baguska. Get wiping, and back to you. Yeah, the deck out's coming. So generally the strategy of not getting decked out is to not have anything on the field. But if you have nothing on the field, then, I guess they pass for a turn. They can't use Destruction if you have no back row, for example. They can't use Curses, they can't use Flash Fire if you just give them nothing. They can still use a card like Slumber, though. So we are out of activations. We didn't have special a Runick to then draw a few cards. It would have only been draw 1. So we're just waiting this out. Special summon during the end phase. Discard a card for the desperate draw 1. We didn't even discard. We just summoned Huggin for that draw 1. Foolish Burial Goods. A good way to get the tree in the graveyard to get searching. Baguska is gone. The stall is over. Getting a Dispelling in the graveyard just to draw 2. Banishing 1 off of the opponent from the Smiting Storm. Please don't lick my drink. Thank you. And let's go. Battle phase skipped. 3 cards left in the deck. Where are your Albazes? Could you even fuse if you wanted to? 0 cards left in the deck. We have nothing left. Sacred Tree is tributing an insect to summon a plant. No freaking way did we just use Tree with Max C. Tree Tribute Max C gets Camellia. That is something. I'm going to write that down. April has ran out of cards. Deck out victory, not the first one we've seen today. Wow, Runick versus Runick, but Naturia versus For Hire. This is pretty good. This is very good. We could Rex summon a For Hire from the graveyard, quick effect, to then pop a card in the field with the Dampa, which then draws 3 with the Falgo. We could Flash Fire or Destruction, pop a card, which then draws 3 with the Falgo. Obviously, we'll also draw off the Runick Fountain, so we're probably going to draw 6 next turn if we have enough Runick cards in the grave. We could Elf Reborn, a Monster Negate. We could Masquerena link off during the opponent's turn. Let's go. And then the Ash we also added. Max C. Okay, yeah. Rex, Masquerena, Elf. That's a bunch of special summoning we're probably going to do during your turn. It makes sense. Didn't want to Ash it, though. We Ash this. Is this bait? It is going to be negated. No field spell search for you. Runick tip. We adding a Runick card. Default IP over alt IP. Can a mod ban that person? Goodbye to the Fossil Dig off the top of the deck with that Runick tip. Grabbing our field spell anyway. Now, we are under Max C. Maybe we didn't I don't think we forgot this, right? Chaining Runick Destruction onto the fountain. Now, doing it this way is quite interesting because you can't use Curse to summon another Huggin to protect your field spell from being destroyed. So on the same chain, threaten the Huggin and the field spell at the same time in the correct order. If you messed up this order, if this was Chainlink 4, this was 3, then you're screwed, because then it would banish protect. Goodbye and goodbye. This is nicely done, and we now have our monster negates. Huggin returning back to the extra deck. Falgo activating to draw just one, actually. Shouldn't you wait with the Rex? Negating the Fountain. The Fountain was going to draw just one. So the Fountain was protecting Falgo draw one. This is kind of interesting. I would think the Falgo would have wanted to wait to draw more than one. Not sure if that was a mistake. Camellia is going to be negated by the red. Not only negated, but destroyed. And not only negated and destroyed, but none of that's actually happening at all because we are going to negate all of that, but then follow-up get negated anyway by the curses. Goodbye for double Flash Fire off the top of our deck. Continually banishing resources off of both of us. But that was it. That was too much. I think from there, we could use the Rex, summon, trigger the Dampa, pop the Camellia. That would have been the draw 3 if we wanted to. But the draw 1 worked. It drew into a curses. Very interesting. What is the better Runick deck? So there could be a situation where, let's say, Runick Naturia is a better deck overall than the Fur Hire Sprite version, but then Fur Hire Sprite could specifically beat Runick Naturia in the duel matchup against each other, where Runick Naturia could be better against other decks. So that's going to be kind of like a weird rock, paper, scissors combo. Maxi in the draw phase. It's worth noting that these Runick decks are not playing Fenrir when we were thinking that everyone's going to play Fenrir. Ash negate. Cricket will summon just one Camellia if it were to not get negated. We drawn 2. We do not care to look at the hand. Wow. Ending the turn. Now, we could summon a Gary off of this. We also have Maxi. Not Maxiing in the draw phase. Not Maxiing at all. What's going on? We're going to be discarding and off of the summon of the Huggin. That's going to be reborning the Cricket from the grave. Cricket is here. Now, if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack, even if it's tied, you then get to summon 2 Naturia from the deck. So we are chaining our tip to get searching for the curses to negate the Camellia on its summon. Since you do have a monster, even though it's 0 attack, technically you have the highest attack. We are sending a tree from the deck to the graveyard. Should it actually work that way? It seems kind of weird. You would think you have to have at least 1 attack. Is me having 0 attack mean I have more attack, a tied attack with you? I guess it does. There was a time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where 0 attack and 0 attack actually killed both monsters. And I think that was maybe an OCG-only ruling, then they reverted it. Rex, come to me. Rex gets searching, triggering the Camellia to reborn a monster from the graveyard. Now, Cricket already activated, so we're not going to be able to summon anything else in the deck here. We do have the Sunflower stuck in our hand, unfortunately. Curses is going to be chain summoning a Runick as we chain smiting Storm to banish 4 cards off the top of the deck. Wham, bam, blue is semi-limited, so we still have another blue. Come forth, beat from the deck. Runick Fountain attempting that draw 2 and will successfully be doing so. Not only will you be drawing, we're also going to draw 2 ourselves. Let's speed this up. Draw, draw, draw. Add back our Runick Fountain. Turn 2, draw 2. Link this up into Falgo. Falgo will be activating to do nothing because we're under max C. We did not want to summon a monster from the deck. Destruction, destroying our field spell. We couldn't chain summon a Huggin because it's being occupied by the Falgo. Cricket mill top 2 instead of tributing thanks to the Camellia to summon 2 bodies from the deck. Now, there is a level 9 synchro that is going to be 2 tuners and a non-tuner. It's the Crystron. Crystron banished 3 monsters from the field or grave. Albon has surrendered. -1 taking game 2. Who's taking this match? Naturia or for hire? Let's go. We got Maxi glued to both players' hands, not Maxing preemptively because then they would chain a Runick card to special summon. Do we now Maxi on the activation of a special summon? Now, we could still stop the Maxi from drawing by chaining the Destruction or Flash Fire, chain summoning our Huggin into the extra monster zone. Doing exactly what I said. You're copying me. What the heck? This is pre-recorded. And, okay. Let's get summoning into the Beats for Hire as we block our other summon with our Runick card, drawing absolutely nothing off of that card. Now, we had to discard the Sprite Starter to ensure that we could draw with the Flash Fire. Falgo, summon a monster from the deck. Holy moly, we're still going to draw 2 for the Max C. Nuts, but it's draw a lot less because we summoned a ton this turn. Very good, well done. Into the fountain we go. Foolish Burial Goods sending the tree. Foolish Burial Goods limited to 1. Thanks to Tearlament, which has now been slaughtered. So does that mean Foolish Burial Goods could go back to 2 or 3? We're going to summon a Flower and a Camellia. Camellia sending another tree to search for a Blessing, which could Reborn or Quick Play Synchro. Very rarely used, though. Flashfire taking out the Sunflower. We could summon a Huggin to protect our Sunflower from being destroyed. And if you don't destroy, you don't banish. You have to perform before the then to perform after the then. We are now going to return 1 Runick card in the graveyard back to then draw 1 as we also chain return our own Runick cards back to draw. Come to me. The downside of Falgo in the extra monster zone is you're susceptible to a card like Runick Destruction, where the Naturia deck is going to be able to very easily summon a Huggin to protect from destruction. We're going to chain summon with the Rex, summon the Beat to trigger the Dump, to pop a card to trigger the Falgo to draw 3, but we're going to use Sunflower to negate all of that. I don't think so. Negate! This is a wild duel. So double negate with the Sunflower, first the Max C, then the Rex. Not chain summoning destruction, chain destruction to the effect to summon a Huggin. That's interesting. You know, that kind of was a good opportunity to do it. Pop before the summon, but then you'd have to be worried about them having another Runick card for other protection. Charge Warrior. Charge Warrior is here. We are going to be randomly drawing into a Smite Storm. Double up on our field spell, so I guess destroying would have been a very bad idea because we're replacing it anyway, but we did the idea anyway, but with the other field spell. So much better on the non-triggered field spell, popping it before the Huggin comes out, changing our mind, summoning a Gary instead, drawing 1 with the Falgo because we popped a card, and we're going to recycle that Runick Fountain. We drawing 2? We drawing 2. Triple Tactics talent, come to me. Field spell number 3 within the same turn, popping the Dump, triggering the field spell, and we have no way to stop it. This struggle of triggering each other's field spells and Falgos, and just like that, we have lost our ground. Battle phase obviously negated, and with the Runick cards in the hand, we're going to be able to activate them with our Runick Fountain. So you'd be thinking, what's the best way for us to deal with that fountain? There really isn't. That is going to be Max C with no Ash negates. Very interesting. Runick Destroy, taking out the field spell. As I said, we don't really have good protection for it because of the Falgo. Not that we had a Runick card anyway. So many cards, jeez. It's just, who cares that you Max C'd me? You pretty much have infinite cards in your hand anyway. Curses is going to negate the Donner. Donner is still going to tribute itself and be negated. And that is the scoop. Gia, what is going on? Is tier done, or do we need more time to figure out the deck? Is tier still being top tier? Is that copium, or is it done? Hajime. Leerlust Tribrigade with the brand new ban list. We have no disruption in sight, so let's speed this up. Untargetable Apex Avian will be able to negate anything. Hitting him with the Max C in the draw. I guess I'm going to have to lethal you. Can we lethal under Max C? Searching for the Unicorn. With the Birth, we're going to normal summon our Unicorn. To battle phase we go. Unicorn on attack, banishing Zeus from the extra deck. TCG having more than one Zeus in their extra deck. Did not activate Fenrir on attack. And also does not activate in the damage step to banish. So, yeah, that was interesting. Did not want a Fenrir, did not want to get negated. Okay. Fractal is here, banishing from the graveyard, which will trigger the Fenrir and the Unicorn. Unicorn can block the Fenrir from being negated. So that's quite interesting here. Targeting to banish, chain link blocking from the Apex Avian. Let's go. Imperm negating the Fenrir despite being chain link blocked with our own Unicorn. All right, Konami, if you're listening for Duel Links, please add the manual chain link orders that we could do it ourselves. Because as Duel Links gets more advanced, how can we just leave it up to Konami automating the chain links still? That's crazy. Shireg Omen on summon, banishing the Fenrir, Karas discarding our Apex Avian. Goodbye to you. We are banishing 2 for our Farigit. Farigit is going to be special summoning whatever the Shireg Omen searches for. Shireg Omen for Zealantis. I love that. That is just crazy. Foolish Burial the Cobalt, which the Warbler in the hand is going to be able to special summon from the graveyard after being special summoned with the Farigit. Cobalt is going to be searching for a level 1 wing beast. It could be a DD Crow if we wanted. Now making Recital. Recital, again, pretty much the same thing. Going to be searching for a wing beast. Got the Wagtail and the Sparrow. The Swallow, that is, not a Sparrow, but wait, Swallow's supposed to be like a Sparrow, right? Swallow summoning the Wagtail. Come forth, Shokan into Recital after we search for a Bird Call. Boosting up the Zealantis. Zealantis is huge. Now making Access Code Talker. I'm loving these plays. I think out of all the decks in today's tournament, I'm going to be practicing with Leerlust Tribrigade. I have been inspired by Vodka. Thank you. I need to touch back up on that deck. And you would think that maybe Sprite Tribrigade is better. We have Pit Knight now and all that good stuff, but maybe this is the best way to play with the Tribrigade. Luster now at 2. You can craft another one for today's tournament. We're going to be popping our Pendulum Sorcerer just to get it in the extra deck to then summon it, to then pop our back row to then search for 2. Into Impermanence, though. Isn't this a pretty big Imperm? Ooh, yeah. That's a nasty Imperm, a high value. Because if they Pendulum early, you know they're desperate. And you just negated their desperate play straight into the end phase. Wow. Ain't no way that just happened. Tanky searching for our Fractal. Fractal is 1 card Wombo combo as it will send a Tribrigade kit. Kit will send Nerval. Nerval will search for a Tribrigade. Come to me, Karas. Karas can be summoned by discarding a Wing Beast, Beast, or Beast Warrior. Banishing 3 from the graveyard for our Doom Eagle to go right into Access Code Talker without even using our normal summon. What an absolute mad lad. 5,300, wiping up the Pendulum Sorcerer. Now, let's get more bodies on the field. Banish 2 for the Farigit, 7,600, almost there, but not quite yet, as we then go into the Shireg Omen for 8,000 damage on summon. Banish a card in the field, not even activating it. Lethal damage. That was something. That was something. That Imperm was deadly. Very well done for Vodka, knowing exactly when to Imperm. TTK, unfortunately, bricking massively. Pendulum summoning just 1 card from the extra deck, having nothing in the hand to also get out onto the field to actually have a follow-up after that Imperm. That was really unfortunate. No hand trap in sight. Let's set up our turn 1. Let's do it. Discard searching for our field spell. Slumber to protect our Huggin from destruction, just to trigger our field spell to then return 3, draw 3. That's got to be something. How do you win against infinite spell negate? Negate. We need like a sunflower to negate, but then Baron to floor can negate the negate. I think that's FTK in the mirror. Yeah, that's GG. Not scooping. -1 is not scooping. Not right. You're not scooping. He's scooping. That's a scoop. All right, let's go to game 2. We could do the same. We could just make a Naturia Beast ourselves. I'm thinking that we get Max Seed. We take the Max Seed challenge, go into the Naturia Beast, and it doesn't matter. All right, Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! With no hand traps. We are going to need to draw into our Naturia play. We don't got the Beast play yet. Discarding our Blessing for our Fountain. Oof. Yeah, I mean, couldn't really do anything. Geez. Yeah, that is just something. That's something, huh? Could not use the Ash and the Huggin to get it out of the extra monster zone. If you link up, it doesn't matter. If you make a Donner, you still can't summon another Huggin to trigger your field spell. So, no Naturia turn 1. Just couldn't do it. Camellia is here, sending the Cricket into the Blessing to reborn it. Now, before we even make a turn 2 Naturia Beast, which is also very good, we got to get popping before that happens. Cricket is going to not be jumping off the field. Negate the Cricket. This is really weird. Okay, so it didn't jump off the field to dodge the destruction. It instead staying on the field to then get negated by the Ash, but we could then summon a Huggin. Huggin will protect the Cricket from being destroyed. Then we can make the Naturia Beast, and then I think we lose. Yeah, Naturia Beast is game over. Rush the Beast, GG. I do think I want to discuss with players in the tournament about seriously considering side deck into the main meta weeklies every week. Because a matchup like this, a mirror match of whoever just slams down the Naturia Beast, and if this were to become a top tier deck, maybe I don't want to be seeing the players suffer through that. So we'll see. Gia, not that this decides anything, could you do a poll in the chat? Would they like to see side deck be in the meta weekly, which we already have it for the MCS, which the next MCS is when Arise Heart comes out. Ash, negate the Cricket, no summon from the deck. We now got the Tree in the Grave activating to search for the Blessing. All spells are negated. So what are you gonna do? Preemptively maxing as the Coral Dragon is the out to the Naturia Beast. Coral Dragon, discard a card, pop it, or attack over it. Maybe Naturia Beast is not an auto win. That'll be triggering the Cricket to summon from the graveyard. Goodbye to the Beast, and then we now have Slumber. Slumber to trigger our field spell is the main way. Return 1, draw 1, now back to you. Focus it up. We are flipping up the Blessing to reborn a Naturia from the graveyard. We will be drawing off of that special summon. Camellia on summon, send a tree. And with that tree, search for a follow-up Naturia play. And if we summon a card, that will trigger the Camellia to reborn the Cricket, as is what's going to be happening right now. You maxed me, I maxed you. And now our Triple Tactics talent is live. Camellia triggered the opposing Camellia to reborn the Cricket from the grave. And if we Cricket, we can only summon one monster from the deck since we have the largest monster on the field. If the opponent has the highest attack monster, we then get to summon 2. Since you summoned, I also triggered my Camellia to reborn from the graveyard. So you're summoning 1 from the deck as I summoned 1 from the grave. And now there is a monster negate. Both players are under max C, reborning our Naturia Beast, searching with the tree being sent to the graveyard. We have double monster negate. So this is funny. Beast, negate the flash fire. And then we have Sunflower, negate the Beast. Then we have Sunflower, negate the Sunflower. Then we have Sunflower, negate the Sunflower. Then we have Sunflower, negate the Sunflower. I believe all that's happening right now. Negate. Mill 2. Negate. Mill 2. Negate. No Mill 2. Negate. And just like that, Chain Link 6. 4 Sunflower negates. Negate, 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 negate. And goodbye to your flash fire. Holy moly. Triple tactics talent on top of that. We ain't looking at that hand. Do you really need more cards drawn at this point? What is going on? We're even giving them more drawn cards. Do we really have to make more plays here? I guess at least set up with the Runick Fountain, then we could pass. Wipe out the Coral Dragon. They get to draw, and we're also going to be drawing 3. Draw 3, draw 1. This is negate Upstart Goblin. Okay. Negate. I don't think so, mate. You ain't drawing 1. Come to me. 3 back into our hand. Our Sunflower in the graveyard will be reborn with the Camellia if they summon at all. If they breathe, then the Sunflower is back. 12 cards to 16 cards. Probably not going to be a deck out victory, but you know, actually, every time we activate a spell, the Beast has to mill 2. Maybe we're going to get to a point where we actually deck out. Camellia triggered the Camellia, and then Camellia triggered the other Camellia. Curses is going to negate, so you're not going to be triggering my Camellia with your Camellia as my Camellia then summons a Camellia. That's it. 2-0. Let's go to the grand finale. Let's go. This is the grand finale of the new ban list being implemented early within our tournament. The unlimits, the limits, the bans, we are abiding by everything fully, and Tier Limit did not make it to the grand finale. Well, maybe not a big surprise. Merly banned, Agito banned, Kelbeck limited to 1. That's huge. Consistency down, power is down, and with that, we have Naturia Runick versus Leerlusk Tribrigade. Now, Vodka for free is on a massive 2-0 win streak. Well, you know, from top 8. Top 8, 2-0. Top 4, 2-0. Grand finale, who knows? Hajime. We do have Nibiru. Nibiru against Naturia Runick. That actually could come into play. So we have the Huggin, then Camellia, which could search for the Blessing. Blessing is going to then be able to special summon. We're then probably going to Synchro. We may even Synchro again. Let's see what happens. So with the tree being sent to the graveyard, we're searching for the Blessing, which will be that special summon. Camellia sending the Cricket. As I was saying, we're on summon number 3. And with Rukalos and Gigantic Sprite being less popular, uh-oh, summon number 4. Summon number 5 already. Just like that. As I was saying, Rukalos and Gigantic Sprite is much less prevalent after the ban list, so it's time to bring back Nibiru. Nibiruing Runick, just like that. That is wild. And that was right before a level 10 Baron to floor, which would have negated the Nibiru. So you do want to Nibiru ideally at the end of the main phase if you know they're not going to summon a negate, but we knew that the negate was coming, so we had to Nibiru right then and there. And we do have the field spell, which allows us to use curses during the opponent's turn. Get ready. Fractal is 1-card wombo combo. It is a good Ash, but we get fingered by the called by? No, we don't. So this tells me that Vodka doesn't even care about getting Ashed. He cares more about getting Max Seed. So having that discipline and looking at the hand and knowing that this gets Ash, that's fine. If I get Max Seed, that's not fine. So I'm going to hold on to Called By for the Max C. Let's go. And Foolish also does exactly what Fractal does. So maybe he was not that smart and he was just like, hey, I have another Fractal in my hand. That's okay. Send the Nerval. Nerval activate. Let's go. Kit. Kit is here, banishing from the grave 2 into the double Dragon Lord. The extra deck monster summon will be triggering the Cricket. and Cricket's going to be banished by that called by, not having to save it for a max C, as they obviously do not have one. Plan B, get rid of the Cricket, which would only summon one monster from the deck because the token actually blocks you from summoning more than one. We are grabbing the Warbler. Now 1 for 1, discarding a monster to special summon that Nerval. Nerval is going to special summon from the extra deck by banishing 2, making sure the link arrows are not blocked by your monsters. That's why I put the Nibiru all the way on the other side. It's the small details like that that really matters with this deck. The link arrows cannot be blocked. We're going to on-summon, non-target, banish any card on the field, get negated by the curses. Now, Double Dragon Lords is going to dodge the negate on the Shiraig Omen by sending it to the graveyard to spin back the token as we also draw 1 and then return back in the deck whatever we draw. So very well done there. Very nice. And, you know, you could consider this kind of as a chain link block on the Shiraig Omen from, let's say, if you had a Gamma, not that that was even a play. The Shiraig Omen also being sent to the graveyard, searching for a Nerval to be used next turn. The Double Dragon Lords is still going to be activatable here, ready to spin back a monster or field spell back to the hand. The Cricket is a problem. Cricket would, I mean, it's not a problem, not a problem. I was going to say it would have been a problem if obviously not fingered by the Call by the Grave, but the Sunflower is not summonable from the hand with the Cricket only summoning from the deck. Now, Camellia could have sent a Tree. Tree could then search for the Blessing. Blessing could then summon the Sunflower. Obviously, none of that's going to happen. Now, let's talk about what we could have done if we didn't do this play on purpose, because we're not allowed to surrender in the grand finale. So Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! Knows that it was obviously fingered on the previous turn. We had no other play. This was just for funsies. Back to you. And just like, you know, obviously Summon Cricket Pass is probably the play. The play. Game number 2. Flood the ladder with Nibiru. I command you to do so. As we limited to 1 Foolish Burial could send the Tree. Tree searching for the Camellia. Camellia could send another Tree searching for a Blessing, which could summon a Cricket from the hand, which could make an infinite negating Naturia Beast. First, we're going to use the Cricket to mill 2 off of the effect of the Camellia, summoning the Sunflower, making Naturia Beast, which will trigger the Cricket to reborn back on the field. Very well done. Cricket is here, top tier. The Tree could tribute a plant to summon an insect. It could tribute an insect to summon a plant. We're going to flip it up and do exactly that. Ash negating the effect of summoning a plant from the deck. So you are not going to be able to summon the Camellia, which would give the Sunflower double monster negate. Now, this monstrosity of double monster negating is so easily countered by anything that's bigger than 0 defense, 0 attack, that is. It's gone. That's it. It's over. Now, Kit into Almirage, triggering the Kit to send Nerval, triggering the Nerval to search for a Fractal or Caress. I think Caress is going to be the play. Now, Cricket is going to get Reborning and did not use Called By. That is interesting. Well, not actually, because there's a beast on the field which would have negated it. So our spells are just super negated. And what we could do here is by getting the Camellia on the field, if you summon that Caress, Camellia will reborn the Sunflower back in the field for that double monster negate. Then you're screwed. How are you going to play around it? Camellia gets sending another Cricket, and then this is going to be reborning our Sunflower, and now we have double monster negate, so we didn't activate the Caress to then perform a Link Summon. Very interesting. We got the setup. Infinite spell negate, double monster negate, mill 2 for the Cricket, summoning a Camellia from the deck, making a Barkion. You can't imperm, you can't evenly match, you can't use any traps, but we don't care about it because we're just going to go up into a Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur, pop any card in the field. Almirage actually is going to protect yourself from being destroyed by card effect. No Sunflower to negate. Let's keep on going. To battle we go. Not quite lethal, but we got, I mean, how infinite spell negate. We're going to draw per special summon. We're going to negate a search or special summon from the deck. We're going to negate anything with the Baron de Fleur. We don't have the double monster negate of the Sunflower anymore, but to ensure that we could, we actually can't Cricket summon a Camellia from the deck because all 3 are in the grave. That is really unfortunate. So what the heck do we do with the cricket? The crickets are actually trash. Baron to floor could summon Camellia from the grave, but that would be weird. We then lose our monster, or our anything negate. So, okay, let's go. Imperm. Get Impermanent, not going to use Call by the Grave into the main phase before the Baron to floor could activate during the standby. Now, this is nasty. Our double monster negate is gone. Our Baron to floor is negated. We can only negate spells, and this single 0 attack Nerval is about to make massive plays. Banishing 4 for the boss monster, Shiraig Omen, which could banish the Naturia Beast. So our spells are now activatable. No way, the cricket summoning from the graveyard, but the cricket does nothing. There's nothing left in the deck to even summon. Every single Naturia monster is gone from the deck. We're now making a Farigate, which will trigger the Omen to search our deck for a monster. We are under Max C, and we're Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! You are not allowed to surrender in the grand finale. What the heck was that? He actually disconnected. I am ready. Restart it here. Ready? Good luck, have fun. GG, I guess. Sorry for the DC. Oh, lol. Unlucky. GG, I guess. Don't know why it DC'd. Game worked fine all day for me as well. All right, I've seen enough. Thank you very much. That is the grand finale. Another 2-0. Just like that, Leerlush Tribrigade 2-0ing its way from the top 8 all throughout the grand finale. Tearlament getting absolutely clapped in this tournament. Let's hop into the top deck list. Hajime. These are the results of the Meta Weekly 110 players, $50 prize sport, $2,000 invite for the top ranked players. This is with a Guido band, Merly band, not a custom ban list. This is the Konami ban list being implemented early. Even the unlimits, which you could craft and play in our unlimited duel rooms. The top deck with limited to 1 branded fusion is branded Despia. What the? So how does this make sense? To make sense of it, you had a deck like Tearlament and Sprite were being hit, so Konami feared that branded Despia would rise to the top. So instead, you had branded Despia preemptively being hit, but apparently they don't even care because, as I said in my ban list review, Retribution is a really good way to get to your branded fusion. The Gangrenol, the Saranir, getting your pieces into the graveyard to essentially have additional ways to search for your branded fusion. Very consistent. But then I said Dragon Link would probably be the best deck. Well, Dragon Link is a deck that heavily leaned on its usage of Bestials to counter Tearlament. And if Tearlament is not as prevalent anymore, which makes the use of Bestials go down in value, I guess that's maybe why Dragon Link wasn't as dominant. This is just one tournament going into with the new ban list, though. Dragon Link was still able to top, and maybe we'll see with further weeks and more tournaments, the meta settle, and also with the new pack coming, which I could assure you, the new pack is going to be spicing up the meta. So make sure to look out for my new pack leak, or I should say educated guess, on what is coming. It's probably going to be a YouTube short. Now, with that said, this is really diverse. Holy moly. Almost 16 different decks. And that's some good Yu-Gi-Oh! I think so. This is more diverse than a Rogue meme tournament. Wow, unbelievable. Let's get to the deck list. Ayo, 3D with the Sword Soul deck. It's looking really standard to me. We got some back row hate, evenly matched even. Alrighty. And then we have Dango, one of the 3 branded Despia, 60 card deck with limited to 1 branded fusion. So we're gonna slowly go through the deck list from here to the bottom, see if there's anything non-standard. The Frightfur package is being used here. We got a Furious Dragon also in the extra deck. A lot of people started using that though recently. Triple High Spirits, very nice to see. Let's keep on going. And then we have the 1 Labyrinth deck. In the top 16, anything out of the ordinary, not that I see, looking super standard to me. Pada E now at 2. What the heck, Konami? Let's keep on going. And then we have the only Tearlament deck in the top 16. And this deck makes sense to me. This is Chaos Ruler into Zombie Vampire to help with the mills. We lost a Guido. We lost Merly. So what essentially happens if Rhino sends a Havnus and you fuse into your Kit Kalos, what are you supposed to search? Well, we saw a player search for a Sharon, special summon Sharon, mill 5 with Kit Kalos, and then Kit Kalos did not mill any fusion trigger. So what's weird is you're searching for a fusion trigger. Maybe you should be searching for like a Rhino Heart than just summon it, just to get a body on the field so you have maximum fusion triggers in the deck. And then they ended the turn with the Sharon. So the power and consistency is just so much more lowered, only 2 fusions per turn. And we're really gonna have to Chaos Ruler into the Zombie Vampire, what the Punk engine really helps us do. Now, we have Dragon, this is our Dragon Link? What the, oh, it's like a Dragon-made Link. So a very interesting take on Dragon Link here with the limited to 1 grass-looking green. Let's keep on scrolling down. Okay, very nice. This is the other half of the deck list. It's also worth noting that Kash tier limit is coming soon. And that's going to be more support for tier if you are a tier player and you're upset that your deck is in a bad state right now. Let's keep on going. Seeks with Marincess. Triple Dark Ruler no more. Nibiru going up in stock because the Rukalos and Gigantic Sprite are less prevalent. It's now time to Nibiru the field. Very well done. Keep on going. Sprite. Because the Swap Frog went to 1, we're playing Hero Kid. Is this something that every Sprite player should now be doing? I don't know about that because I fear that you have multiple kids in your hand and the kid only summons kids from the deck. So that is the big problem there. But I hate them too. Gigantic Sprite summon Hero Kid, summon the other 2 Hero Kids from the deck, and notice how I didn't mention Elf? That's right, you're not gonna have to use Elf to reborn the kid like you would do with the Swap Frog play. So, you know, you could still play Frog, Dupe Frog, and a Ronin Totem instead, but maybe this really needs to be considered for the true alternative way. And notice how this is 26 UR craft-only cards. Geez, this is really expensive because all of these packs are expired and it's just gonna be master pack only. And, oh, 29. Speaking of a lot of UR craft-only cards, this is Kraken with a Scareclaw deck. Choosing to go second with this deck, 55 cards. As you can see right there, good job, Kraken. Here is the extra deck, looking good. Let's keep on going. April with branded Despia, a more standard version. My voice is completely gone. I've been yelling all day today. We looking good, only 1 Retribution. I was thinking some people may be playing more than 1 now, only 1 branded Fusion, but all is well. The deck still consistently does its thing. Now, Runick is also going up in stock. We have Fur Hire Runick with Sprite. We have Naturia Runick, which I believe there were 2 of them in the top 16. This is nice, looking good. Keep on going. We have Thunder Dragon, making it into the top 8. Very nice. Good job to that. All right, got Branded Beast. Not everyone playing that with their Bestials. Now, the Lubellion is something that may get hit in the future. It is limited to 1 in OCG, so keep an eye out for that. And another Branded Despia deck. 40 card clean. That is the main deck. Here is the extra. And, okay, let's keep on going. -1 with Naturia Runick. Very clean, 40 cards. Yup. Limited to 1 tree and TCG. Let's keep on going. Titacon, TTK, Pendulum. Now, with Luster Pendulum semi-limited and usable, all the rooms were set to unlimited, and we let all the players know that they could craft more of a card early to play in our tournament with. Still playing 1. All right, I guess we don't need a second one for Pendulum Magician, that is. And here is the deck, TTK, nuts with Pendulum. Second place, another Naturia Runick. Looking exactly as built as -1, yep. And then first place, Vodka for free. Unfortunately, a disconnect did happen in the grand finale, but I'm thinking Vodka for Free was favored to win that match anyway. And very nice. I'm going to be going back to this deck. I got to be playtesting with this. This is good. I really liked what he was doing with the Shrek Omen, then sending it for Zealantis, which is a really good way to trigger this to search your deck for another monster. And good job. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Continuing to support these videos allows us to keep on uploading them. There has been immense support lately, like absolute insanity. I can't even believe it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We are out.